Gentlemen, remember, should this bill pass and become law, which it never will, it will tie us to the 2003-2008 guidance, which the Farm Bureau has described as a hodgepodge of ad hoc and inconsistent jurisdictional theories, and will result in and is resulting in increased delays and costs to the public at large. That's why we're here today. Everybody agrees that we need clarification. But you are excluding them from using the judicial decisions, any document that was used in coming up with this problematic rule, and saying you can't use any of that. So basically, we are stuck with the 2003-2008 guidance, which prior to this grandstanding over here, everybody agreed needed to be fixed. Well, now we're going to be stuck with it forever. Instead of using a legislative scalpel, you pulled out the giant sledgehammer here. Sometimes it's harder to be a legislator, to actually get into the guts of something and figure out what's wrong, what isn't wrong. And Mr. Bishop has done that. They cannot expand the scope beyond those water bodies covered prior to the decisions of the U.S. Supreme Court in those two cases. It cannot be inconsistent with the judicial opinions of Scalia, Kennedy, and Rapinos. This is not judgmental stuff. This is clear legislative restrictions. This would be taking and putting walls around their rulemaking and saying, no, you stay inside those rules. And in addition to that, they can't increase the regulation of ditches. They can't eliminate any historical, statutory, or regulatory exemptions for agriculture, which do not exist under the 2003-2008 rules. And there are questions about ditches under the 2003-2008 rules. They're interpreted different in all parts of the country. So you're going to bind us to something that doesn't work because you want to grandstand and pretend you're doing something for people who have legitimate concerns. Sometimes it's harder to say to them, this is a difficult and complicated question because Americans want to preserve the clean waters of the United States. We don't want to go back in time, but we also want you to be able to farm and to ranch and do other productive activities. That's hard to do. And that isn't what this bill before us today will do. It'll bind us to the problems of the past.
Will suspend. Question is now on the amendment offered